Hi, and welcome to the A Quilting Life podcast. I'm Chelsi from Chelsi Stratton Designs.
And I'm Sherri McConnell from A Quilting Life.
And we're here with you today for podcast episode number 123, and it is Monday, October 14th. And before we get started, we would like to start with our sponsor, Cozy Earth.
Yeah, we're so grateful for Cozy Earth for being a sponsor of the Quilting Life podcast, and just want to remind you that it is fall. It is the change of season. That's the perfect time to kind of reevaluate your sheets, your towels, look and see where you might need to freshen things up. They have some beautiful fall colors in their sheets that are just gorgeous. They have some really great clothing options, cozy joggers, cozy sweatshirts and t-shirts, and of course their skincare line that we've been loving, the moisturizer and the body butter. So just want to remind you about that, and you can use the link from the description below to get 40% off at checkout. And remember, that does not apply to subscription items. And the other thing we want to remind you of is that if you do check out without the link, you can use the code Quilting Life and mention that you heard about them from our podcast.
It's about jogger season for me.
Yes.
That's where I wear all those. I wear those joggers like 4 days a week. I mean, I have like 4 different pairs, but yeah, it's almost jogger season for me.
I was going to be like, ew, do some laundry, Billy.
Yeah, fall is jogger season. That's true. Love that.
All right. And Mom has today's quilts.
Yes. I was trying to decide about the quilts, and I thought, well, we actually have 2 fabric collections in stores right now, which is kind of unusual for us. Strawberry Lemonade reprint should be readily available. So on the table, I have Montage, and this pattern has 2 different sizes included. There's an 80 by 80 bed quilt and also a 60.5 by 78 throw quilt, and they are both fat eighth friendly. Love, love, love this quilt. It's one of my favorites. And it's with the Strawberry Lemonade. And on the wall is Shine Remix. And there are also 2 sizes in that pattern, actually 3 sizes. A bed size, a throw size, and the mini is included. And this one's in our Laguna Sunrise fabrics, and that has just shipped. So also in stores right now. Super, super excited about it.
Yeah, because the day we're filming this, I already have my shipment notification. My fabric is coming tomorrow.
Mine too.
Yours too.
Yes.
I have to make note of something. The quilt on the table is fat eighth friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. It really seems like it uses more fabric.
I know.
Wow, the blocks are bigger.
Do you know why? Well, actually,
I can see
some
why.
of those stars have the patchwork centers. I had to do that to make it work with fat eights. I couldn't get all of them.
I see, with the bigger squares.
So that was what I did to make it to where fat eights works. I was super excited because I didn't want all that fabric waste with fat quarters.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
So
very cool.
Really
very
excited.
Cool.
Yes. And then, so we should also mention, because Laguna Sunrise is shipping, our sew along will be starting at the end of the month. We will reach out on all of our platforms to let you know when that's getting ready to start. But if you're going to sew along with us with Chelsi's Brightly sampler from our family favorites quilt book with Fat Quarter Shop, I'm sure those kits will be available to ship very soon too.
We are so excited.
Yes.
So excited.
So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be a sew along and it's going to be a monthly sew along. So it's going to stretch out through the year, and everything will be on Fat Quarter Shop's website, and we'll be sewing along each month as well. So I feel like I kind of like those monthly sew alongs because you have more time to get your blocks done. And
I really like it too, because I just feel like it's just a little bit steadier pace instead of it's Wednesday again. Like I need to get my block done. I'm really excited about it. The book turned out amazing. It's just fun to have the fabrics here and everything come together. We're very excited about it.
Right. And along with that, we also have our we often get questions on the podcast about Sherri and Chelsi merch, and this is kind of some Sherri and Chelsi merch. It's the So Charming Dresden enamel charm. It has a little, what do you call these?
They're the
fob zipper. It'll clip on.
Clip.
Yeah.
A clip. So it'll clip onto a zipper or a bag or anything that you want. And it's just a really cute little Dresden. It's adorable. And it would also make a great gift for your quilting friends. So we have those. We'll link them.
Yeah, we'll link them.
And there might be some still in my shop, still in Chelsi's shops, but they also are available at Fat Quarter Shop.
Can I just tell you how much I appreciate having Billy in the room? We're both like, yeah, it's a little trinket thingy. And Billy goes, it's a clip.
Well, there's probably another word for it that just got past you, but
it's a clip, guys.
To make it as simple as possible, it clips onto stuff.
Yes.
That's funny.
Anything else that's new or that you need to share?
I think that
got it all.
Yeah, the book's out, the fabric's out, the Dresden charms.
Just a lot of things all at once.
So along.
Fabric shipping like you said. So it should be
stores now.
Pretty much available everywhere.
Yes.
On the 14th.
Strawberry Lemonade is in stores now. The reprint is.
Yes.
It's in stores.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then with that, I'll jump into our listener quilts. Okay. So the first one here is one of Mom's quilts and one of Chelsi's by the same person. And this is from Anne. She says, "Hi, Sherri, Chelsi, and Billy. I just wanted to reach out and let you know how much I enjoy your podcast. I never miss an episode. I'm also obsessed with your patterns. I think I own all of them. Anyway, this is my version of 2 of them. Thank you for sharing all of your time with us." Again, from Anne. And the first one is the Getaway quilt. And, to me, that looks fully Strawberry Lemonade. I guess I should have verified that with you before.
That's the collection that it came out with. Mm-hmm. So that's probably a
highly likely.
And the backing is the hexagons. That was Strawberry Lemonade.
Yeah. Strawberry Lemonade.
I think we'll see if I'm right or wrong about this, but I think it's all Strawberry Lemonade. That's just coming from me. So if I got it right, I'm impressed with myself.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, the second one is Miss Magnolia. And that's up on the screen right now. And she also, so that one is yours, Chelsi. So she shared one of Mom's and one of Chelsi's today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So many Magnolias and Miss Magnolia. Yeah, they just keeps coming. I love it. I'm so excited
so
about
I'll say this. As of now, in the queue, because I have the email open right now, I don't see any more. In the future, but that could change by the time I look at next one. That's funny. So then the next is the 2023 block of the month.
I love this one.
And let me pull it up. There it is. Okay. This is from Lori. She says, "Dear Sherri, Chelsi, and Billy, thank you for the podcast, YouTube videos, and all you provide for the quilting community. I decided to be a part of the block of the month for 2023 and was able to keep up with the blocks every month. I looked forward to a new month and seeing what pattern we would be working on for that month. I am attaching a picture of my completed quilt. It took longer to complete than I wanted, as most of the completed blocks were at my home in the north, and the remaining were with me in my southern home. Once all the blocks and material were all in one place, I was able to put it together and get it to a long arm for quilting. Although I have plenty of fabric left over, I didn't have enough to cover the whole back in one fabric. I went looking for ideas for a backing that was not too complicated, as I really wanted to finish this quilt this summer. I'm very pleased with my choice for the back, as it showcases the quilt design nicely. My long armer suggested a pattern with a dolphin, since the fabric is from Moda, The Sea and Me by Stacy Eschew. A shout out to my long arm quilter Sandy Richard of Village Stitchery in Sam Barton, New Hampshire. She did a great job. Once again, thank you for all your wonderful content, beautiful fabric, and great inspiration." And I forgot to show you the backing, but it's in the same fabric with Stacy shoes and everything. Yeah. But it's actually really I wish I would have shown you that before, because it's like a cross and then there's a line coming this way too.
We will look at that as soon as we finish recording.
She also, and I got to give her a thank you for this, she said, "P.S. I know that this is well over a year old, but congratulations, Billy, on your hole-in-one. Being married to a golfer, I know how special that was for you. Also, I will always remember the date and year as it was the day of my grandson was born.
Oh,
that's fun.
Husband got one, yeah. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's over a year ago now, but I still think about it.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I did that.
I still think about it.
I'm sure your husband thinks about it quite often too, right, Chelsea? Does he ever just wake up in the middle of the night and be like, guess what?
Billy got a hole in one.
I can't believe Billy got that hole in one. That's true, right?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
We were, it was in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We passed the golf course.
Oh, that I got
and
it?
he said, this was recent. He did say, that's where your brother got the hole in one. And I was like, okay. No.
You should have had him stop and say,
take a picture of me.
Exactly.
I love that.
Billy's hole in one. That's funny.
Okay, this last one I'm going to share today, it's from another Lori, not the same Lori, a different Lori. So I think the other Lori was
like, Lori's very busy.
New Hampshire, and this Lori is from North Dakota. Hello from North Dakota. I was fortunate to take Sherri's first A Quilting Life Academy. Thoroughly enjoyed it and learned so much. The videos were incredibly helpful and so well done. So thank you.
Thank you.
That's very good to hear too, since I helped with those videos.
Yeah, and I am getting ready to open that up again in a few weeks.
Okay.
So
I've had there were a couple people that mentioned that in the comments too. I have done some quilting in my past life, but now in retirement and am hoping to do more. My career was in education, so I knew the value of getting some good sound instructions on quilting techniques. Thank you, Sherri. Well done. This is the quilt I made while following along with the Academy. I used Camille Ross Kelly's Shoreline collection. The project was quilted by Julie Hoffman from Botno, North Dakota. I hope I pronounced the name of that city right. I follow your podcast and videos faithfully and look forward to making some of your projects with the Raspberry Summer Collection. Thank you, Sherri, Chelsi, and Billy. You are a great team. And that's from Lori. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And that quilt is gorgeous in Camille's fabric.
Really good job. And I think that's from, I know you've probably seen some other pictures, but I think that's the first one I've seen from somebody from the first time through seeing a completed quilt from that.
Absolutely completed, yes.
Yeah.
I did see a quilt top or two, but not quilted and bound.
Okay.
So,
Awesome. Yeah. So really, really good job. And thank you for the kind words about the video content. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that because of that, it helped create a quilt.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll jump into the topics today. And I'll start with because our first one is going to be about Quilt Market, basically preparing for it. My mom and sister preparing, their expectations this year, a few different questions I had for them as they get ready for that. But I guess a little mini announcement here is that I'm going to be there this year. Hey. And so
you got to do the thing. Woo!
Oh, I didn't even set up a track for it today. But yeah, so by the time the next episode comes out, we'll actually all still be up down in Houston.
Yes.
That day. So on the 28th, right? Yeah. So we'll still be down there. There will be an episode that will be released that day, but we will actually be down there. So I'll be going. My wife is going to be coming with me. So we have some things to do. I'll actually mention that here later in the podcast, why she's coming along too. And I'm also going, it's funny because we started, we've been talking about me going for a couple of years now and everything. And I didn't last year, but then this year I was sort of on the fence again, like, should I not? I do have work to do here in town. This is sort of my busy season for caddying and everything. But then there is something that tipped the scale for me. You guys know what that is, right?
We do know what it is.
We know what it is.
So it just so happens that same weekend, and I don't think I've ever talked about this. We've talked a lot about baseball on the podcast, but this is the first time I'll mention my team in football, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. So if there's any Indiana viewers or Indianapolis viewers out there, I'm also a very devout Colts fan.
Since he was a teenager.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. and people might also wonder, why is Billy a Seattle Mariners fan and Indianapolis Colts fan? Because I was growing up in the 90s, early 2000s in Southern Nevada, there were 0 professional sports teams. So whenever I got into a certain sport, like I liked the Mariners in the 90s because of Ken Griffey Jr. And then when I started following football, Peyton Manning was there, and it was just fun to watch. So that's sort of where it comes from, and I'm a very loyal person, so I will never drop my teams until the day I die. So anyway, so the Colts are playing the Houston Texans that same weekend. So
what are the odds?
I figured I got to go. Crazy. I'm going to go to Quilt Market on Saturday and Monday, and then I actually have a friend that lives in Houston. He's going to go to the game with Isabel and I.
Oh, I didn't know
Sunday.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So I will be down there.
I will be down there.
For business and for some fun. So.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great.
I'm just excited.
And I think we ended up on the same flight on the way home, which will be really fun.
Home?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. 3 can sit together and there will be one lone. That's funny.
Well, maybe we can try to get 2 seats with nobody in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Or you guys, you two and Isabel can sit together and I'll go sit by whoever.
Some random person.
Yeah.
Well, I had a bad experience on my last flight, so I am...
Yeah, we'll make sure you're secure, Chelsi.
So terrible.
So with that, let's jump into your preparation for Quilt Market. So obviously, it's that time of the year. You guys are getting ready. A few questions so what do you guys do each year prior to going to market? Because you talk about it a lot. And I know, Mom, you had mentioned you're making some things. I mean, what are some of the things that you guys are doing to prepare both with your sewing and also overall business? What are some things that you guys are in the midst of doing right now?
Well, I started out, I actually made a list of all of my projects and Chelsi's projects, and we have so many projects already. And one of my patterns was the Dresden's pattern. So it had a pillow and it had a wall hanging and it had a table runner. And so I really probably don't even need to make anything else. I feel like,
no,
but I did make just a couple things that I thought would be just fun additions. But really, I'm not having to sew because everything was sewn this summer. You're finishing up your final quilt, right?
Yeah, my final quilt Marion's gonna quilt it right before we leave.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I did notice you made a bag.
Yes.
And it's cute.
Big.
It's big.
Yeah. So it'll be cute in the booth.
It's great though. I feel really spoiled because Mom, when we talked about in the last podcast, she'll use the strike offs to just start, ripping a project, whipping one up. And we have, between the both of us, what is it, 10 quilts?
Yeah.
How we're going to fit those, I don't know. It's crazy. And I'm thinking well, my medallion one will need to show, and this one can be folded, and this one can be folded. And I have 6.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You have more quilts than me.
Yeah,
so.
but one is a second version. They don't need to be showing. They could be hung over a ladder. It's really simple.
And that's the great thing. I have this little bag that I take every year. I just take it to market. I bring it home. I leave it how it is. I take it the next year. It just has some pins and different things. But Moda brings supplies for us, and they bring props like ladders and tables.
It's so nice.
It's very nice to not have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's a huge stress they take away. That it's expensive if you're going to try to ship in your own props. Or some people drive for that reason.
Yeah,
it's a lot, and so they do a lot for us. But
and they also take care of the flooring. A lot of people don't realize this, but if you just get your own booth to go to Quilt Market, that does not come with flooring. You have to pay for that extra.
Yeah.
So Moda takes care of the flooring as well for us. So it's really nice to be able to just kind of come in with our suitcases full of projects and set it up.
Yeah, I also think what is nice is obviously we got our fabric super early, and we were in a previous catalog.
Right.
There's that to also take into account. It's just so nice to be back. It honestly was kind of crazy. I felt wow, we were just there.
Yeah.
And that was really a year ago. And it just feels great to be back again.
A year is a good amount of time in between quilt markets.
I like it.
I really like it.
There's a lot of talk about that. Do we need 2? I just really like the one because I feel like it's a huge reunion with everyone.
And we're also flying in a little bit earlier than normal this year, so I'm much more relaxed. Generally, we have just had to wake up at like 1 or 2 in the morning, get into the airport by 6 a.m., take this flight, and then with the time change, we get there and we haven't had any sleep, and we're kind of zombies. And
we're hungry.
Hangry. We have to set up a booth and get to sleep because the next day it starts, but we're going to have an extra day this time, and I'm really glad we did that.
I'm going to go down to the pool and get a quesadilla because I just had one in July. Yes. I'd never done that before. I'd never like ordered food by the pool. Oh. And I was really confused when like the waiter came over and I'm like, wait, I can get food? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're
that's kind of the point.
Your 10-year-old knows all about that because we got a fruit plate at the pool this summer.
She got like 6 fruit plates. Oh, that's funny.
I'm kind of relaxed about it, and
I like staying with you.
Oh, thank you.
We have
I like
really
staying with you too.
Except when it's 2 a.m. and she wants to talk about her next idea.
Yes.
I'm sitting there like, can you please go to sleep? This is crazy.
I sort of feel young too because like sometimes Vanessa will come into our room and you guys all get ready and I'm like, wow, I'm with the younger girls. You know?
Yeah, Joanna sent me a message. She's like, I'll see you soon.
Oh, she did?
It just is so fun because we all get really excited about it.
Yeah, and these are our people that we only see once a year. So.
Yeah, and it really does feel like time hasn't passed. Which is super nice to have those types of relationships.
Yes.
You go, you get your big Emoda family hug.
Yeah.
And you set up your booth and then, the designers are peeking around the corner like, hey. And it's just good fun. Yes. It will be very different without Tammy since she's retired.
Yes. Yeah. But I think she might come and work for them.
Okay. I really hope she does. I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I need to give Tammy a big hug too.
Yeah.
So I may have missed it at the beginning, but are you, what fabric, what's the primary fabric collection you're displaying there?
Oh, Raspberry Summer.
Raspberry Summer.
So all 10 of those quilts were just Raspberry Summer quilts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's the most we've had, I think.
So you're not bringing any Laguna Sunrise, nothing like that. It's just
the most recent.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that what you always do? Do you ever mix in different collections or?
Not usually, just the most recent.
Yeah, this is also something, it's huge for the designers who are in the catalog that just released this past Friday. Was it Friday?
Yes.
Because, yesterday.
End of September.
Yeah.
Right.
Because their sales period is during market still.
Okay.
Oh, well.
But I think it's also helpful for us, even though our sales period just closed, because our fabric is not in the stores yet. And this gives shop owners a chance to look at our quilts up close and get ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe they've already ordered the fabric and they might think, oh, I'm going to get some of those patterns too, So I think it's super helpful for the shops to see it.
And you never know. Sometimes there's a big enough interest.
Right.
They could order more. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so one, it'll definitely help with like patterns because they see those, but then perhaps, maybe I will order more fabric if it's available for them to make a quilt kit or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like that's what happened with Strawberry Lemonade. We went to Quilt Market and it was seen up close in person.
Yeah.
And it was,
And then
super helpful.
To recap also, so obviously it's the designers at the market.
Yeah.
It's quilt shop owners. They can get access to Quilt Market as well. And then any like industry
professionals.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the long arm machines,
thread companies, sewing machine companies, notion companies, button company.
Okay.
Anything that you can imagine is there in a
like any hardware
capacity.
Also. Okay.
Hardware, yes.
Yeah. I just love it because it really is the shop owners. We get a chance to speak to them in person.
Yes.
It is so nice to be able to have that connection. And we are always so appreciative when the shop owners come and visit the booth and talk to us. I love getting to speak to them and how's their shop doing, like it's good relationships.
So some people you see every year, you can sort of get an update on how their shop is and things like that.
Yeah. And it's really fun because you see them and after a couple of years, they walk up and oh, well, they're in Colorado or they're in Idaho or, she's in Texas, and you get the whole geographic thing too.
These are the people supporting your fabric, and the shop owners do a lot of work. They're very busy people.
So then what kind of things do you have planned that you can talk about, if you can, like for business that you're going to be attending to this year? Are there certain meetings? Are there people that you meet with every year when you go there, or do you try to set up new things? Like, how do you take advantage of that from the business side?
We meet with our design team while we're there. And that's
from Moda.
From
right?
Moda.
Okay.
So, and there are 3 of them, and we are super excited I don't know, that's always like a highlight, don't you feel like?
That is my favorite. I will say a highlight.
Yeah.
Because...
And are you pitching a new fabric line? Is that what you do?
Yes, but I will have that turned in actually before our meeting, but it will still be nice to talk to them in person, because there might just be more things that we want to do with the collection. And I also have another one I might be working on that I might just have there to show them in person.
Yeah.
It's just helpful because you talk through email all the time. And I love our design team because they really are like, hey, if you need to FaceTime us, if you need to text us or call us, please do. But
still nothing beats in person.
It still doesn't beat in person. Yeah. And last year was so helpful. And
we actually hashed out the name for Raspberry Summer in our design team meeting last year. And we also finalized the Dresden cheater in that meeting.
Yeah, that was huge.
We had been thinking about that, and it just came about in that meeting too.
There's just lots of ideas bouncing off of each other, and they're just so great. They are just great communication, and they really believe in their designers. They want to support us, and that is huge. That means everything.
Yeah. And then we also, sometimes other brands will come up and talk to us. Last year we were gifted some rulers and different items. So sometimes stuff like that just happens kind of randomly.
Just more,
okay. Sporadically.
Wait, can I say one more thing about the design meeting?
Sure.
There is any creative person, someone who's creating, I believe everyone has, maybe not everyone, but we're our own worst critic, right? Like, I am so critical of what I'm drawing. And last year when we met in person, I just thought it was awful. I don't know why. I think because I get so stressed.
And I love
Raspberry
Summer.
Mom loved Raspberry Summer. And she thought I was like going crazy. And I thought, it's not my best. Like, it's not my best work. But I really put my heart and soul into this one. And we got to the meeting and they're like, Chelsi, it's great.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think if you almost like stare at something too long, you just start finding all these things that you think need to be changed. Right. And they really help me. And they know, because they have been with me from the beginning. Yeah. They understand how the designs have evolved. And so it's just nice to have. I just am appreciative.
Here's a fun fact.
From a book you read.
No. 10 years ago, this market, right? Isn't that when we went to Houston and met with Cheryl and Jamie in 2014?
Wow.
Yeah. Is that Chelsi's first market? Or both of yours?
This is the part where the Chelsi, camera should zoom in on my face. Dun dun.
Wasn't that when we went and met with Cheryl and Jamie for the first time? And then a few weeks later we found out.
And then the spring would have been when the first collection debuted.
Yes.
Do you guys know, we've shared this before.
It's been 10 years since you went to Houston for the first time.
Meeting.
Yes.
And it was a wonderful trip. Wow. You know, we got to the hotel room and Mom was really like, hey, don't get your hopes too, up there, and just be prepared for no. And she wasn't saying like, oh, it's not going to happen. She was just saying like, Chelsi, I think I believed so much that nothing was going to stop us, and I just had a more like naive attitude about it. Whereas Mom had been in the industry and was like, hey, these are women and men who work incredibly hard, and not that we didn't work hard.
Right.
We did work really, really hard, but
she knew nothing was guaranteed.
Yeah, she knew nothing was guaranteed. And I think that was a really wise attitude to go about it. And it was just, I remember after that meeting, we both went over to those tables where they eat lunch, and we were like, squeeze! Like we were like freaking out.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
remember,
really weird.
I remember too, I was like, if it's a no, we're going to wait a year and we're going to go back.
Yeah.
Remember?
She kept saying that. She's like, we aren't going to give up, Chelsi. Yeah. We're going to keep getting better and all this stuff. And
that's I remember funny. It's been a while, but when Vanessa was on our podcast, isn't that what happened? Basically, she was turned down the first time, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, that's fine. And came back the next year, and then she got accepted.
Which is such a cool story to share. Right. Because sometimes it's a no.
Yeah.
But don't give up if it's something you really believe in, on any dream you have, or any if you want to be a shop owner, like, don't give up if that's really your dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah. 10 years ago.
Wow.
So, okay, well, with that, that's a good transition to this question. If you were giving advice to a designer or even a shop owner, and this upcoming market is their first time ever being there, what's some advice you would give to them? Let's start with the designers first. If there's a brand new designer, just got accepted or whatever, and is going to be there for the first time, what is something you would tell them? If they had like, hey, what should I expect? What should I do? What would you tell them?
This is kind of not fair, because I just had a designer call me yesterday from another company who's going to be there for her first time.
Mom's prepared.
So I was lining her out with everything. So I told her, wear comfortable shoes, prepare to be overwhelmed. It's very overwhelming the first time you go.
I wore high heels my very first market. So not cool.
It's very overwhelming, don't you think, though?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like your brain for a few days after, you're just walking down the aisles and seeing colors and textures and
that part never changes as far as the exhaustion. The last day, the designers, because it slows down, we'll all just kind of gather in someone's booth and hang out, and we're all like, wow, we're all introverts. We're so tired right now. And we love it, and it's worth the exhaustion. But you kind of get mentally tired. And
is it because there's a lot of questions
it's just
being
a lot
asked?
Of,
and what kind of questions do
a lot of talking.
A lot of talking.
Shop owners just want to know about your fabric, about your patterns.
And that's a good thing.
Is that what the kind of questions you're getting?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great, but it's just it's long out, it's 8-hour days.
Yeah.
All day Saturday, all day Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Monday, the market closes at 3, and it is, like Chelsi said, it slows down. A lot of people go home Sunday night.
Yeah.
So, and I know, like you said, some Notion companies might come and give you stuff or whatever, especially maybe if you have like an online presence or whatever to review and whatnot. But do they do much talking to you guys other than that? Because they're probably more concerned with shop owners and everything as well, trying to sell their products to the shop owners.
Right. They're trying to sell to the shop owners. In the experiences that I've had, it's been people who probably knew about my online presence or our podcast and had it on their list that they were going to come talk to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good deal. And then I just also, because it's an industry market, it's for, like we've already talked about, the designers, shop owners, and companies. But there is it's called the festival, right?
Quilt Festival.
Quilt Festival that happens, and the dates for that are on Halloween, October 31st through November 3rd.
Right.
Right after.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a day in between or whatever.
Yeah, there's a few days in between while they take down and set up. Some of the companies that are there for Quilt Market and Festival.
But you still have to take down your booth.
Right.
I heard that.
Yes, because they might be in a different position for Festival. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So a lot of people that come, they're there for 3 weeks. They're there for market and in between and for Festival. And that is open to the general public, and it's retail sales galore. But there's also an amazing quilt show that goes on at the same time. And we're able to see that during Quilt Market.
Yeah.
So that's
they have that set up already.
Yes, that is set up already. What a blessing that is, because you really can see some inspiring quilts there.
And I know you guys don't stay for festival, and it'd just be a long time for you guys to be gone. But let's just imagine that you did. If you were to stay, set up a new booth, would that be something that you could just sit there and sell your patterns and like retail stuff of your own there? Like, is that what some designers do?
That's what some designers have done. Yes.
And then if you have any other, I guess, merch or knickknacks and stuff.
A lot of them sell fabric bundles
or fabric
kits
as well.
And patterns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yes.
I do want to say this about Moda's booth. They keep it super interactive as well. Last year they had, what were they making? The cute little
pin cushions. There was another project too, right?
Yeah.
So a couple make and takes.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun. The bracelets. Yeah. Because we had the friendship bracelets was like a big thing. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's cool. And again, Isabel and I are going. One of the reasons, and this will sort of help lead into the next topic here, is we've considered, and it's nothing's guaranteed or whatever, but we want to look at the long arm quilting machines while we're there. And then maybe you guys could like explain to me, because it's my first time. So you guys are giving me access in there. Okay, I am curious about, or we're curious as a couple, hey, maybe we should buy a long arm quilting machine and try to pursue this as something down the road. So let's start with market. As we go there, are we, and maybe, hopefully one of you can go with us, but are we allowed to go and look at the machines and put our hands on them and test them? And how does that work there?
Yeah, that's what they're happy to have you do.
They want you using the machine.
Okay.
So it's really, really cool.
I think it'll be really cool for Isabel to because she's a doodler and she's very artistic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very craftsy overall.
Very. And I think she's going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do not be intimidated either.
Right.
There's obviously like a learning curve. But I like that they want you to be comfortable and like test it out.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
And there's going to be a variety of different long arm companies there. So you can see a wide variety of machines and you can learn about all the features, and a lot of them are computerized. So there's so much to it.
Obviously they'll be the experts, so give us all the details and everything. But
Chelsi tried it out and thought it was kind of fun.
It was fun. I was terrible at it.
Really? Because isn't if I remember right, that's one of the reasons you brought her there as well, Mom, is you thought maybe she would be interested in that.
They really wanted me to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was not picking it up very easy.
Yeah.
But this is what's great. There is classes and classes and classes you can take, in-person classes, and not everyone's going to be doing custom. There's computerized,
right.
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to sit there and do it yourself.
Right.
And so.
Okay. So that leads into the secondary topic I wanted to talk to you guys about is, okay, so we're going to go there. We're, our expectations are low or whatever, but maybe we do think, okay, this is something we're going to invest in, get one, and see what we can do with it down the road. Now, for long arm quilters, let's say somebody wants to be a long arm quilter. Okay. What are some types of things that you would recommend for people to do in order to break into that business or into that market as a long arm quilter? And I know my mom and sister, they have their quilters. You hear them talk about them all the time, Marion and Val. So I asked them, pretend that they all retired today. Marion, Val, nope, never doing another quilt the rest of my life.
We would cry.
I would cry.
Vicky, and I'm missing the other
Gail
ladies. And Gail out here.
Yeah.
They same thing. You have literally no one in Vegas or in the Valley that will do your quilts. How are you going to find a new long arm quilter?
Well, probably by word of mouth, honestly. But I
social
would,
media.
Yeah, social media. I mean, we have both seen people start long arm quilting businesses and
become very successful
through Instagram and social media. And so you can do it. I really feel like I would, before I took something very important to a new person, I would want to see their work.
Yeah. That's where I think social media comes into play, is a lot of these long armors have a whole feed full of what they've done.
Yeah.
And really, there's some good ones out there.
And so would a lot of them start by just making their own quilts and then quilting them for themselves and then displaying them, like you said, whether it's on social media or going to a guild or a quilt shop or something like that and displaying them? Or
well, actually, back in the day, there was a long armor who was just starting her business, and this is before Instagram. This is when I just had my blog. She reached out to me and she asked if she could quilt some of my quilts for free and if I would do a blog post about it. And I did. And she ended up getting very successful, ended up with 2 different machines and quilting for another moda designer. And so, just, but I wasn't going to mention somebody on my blog without having an example of their work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a great job and I told everybody about it. And I think I advertised for her for a couple of years. And then we were both kind of like, hey, you don't need to advertise anymore. You got your own people. And it was great. It was great for both of us. So
that's what I was wondering if quilters go out and sort of provide free work to show that they can do it well.
I think these days it's probably not free. Maybe
well, I guess that was sort of a trade-off too.
That was sort of a trade-off because I did put an ad on my blog.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a trade-off. But nowadays I think a lot of them will offer a discount, like a penny an inch for an intro special or whatever.
Okay.
And because the going rate is
There's
higher.
Rates. Okay.
Right. So it's by the square inch. So you take the length and the width of your quilt and you come up with how many square inches you have. And then you're going to pay anywhere from 1.5 cents a square inch to 10 cents a square inch for the ultra custom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because, didn't you find Val and Marion through a quilt store in Las Vegas, like a quilt class you were doing?
So Val and Marion and I had all taken a class together years before.
Yeah.
So we knew each other. But how it happened was I ended up going to a retreat at Lisa Bonjean's in Wisconsin, not her new retreat center, her old one. And Val was there. Val at that time was quilting for Lisa Bonjean. And so I reconnected with Val, and when we started designing fabric, I took some of our very first quilts for Bright Sun to Val, and Val said, "Remember Marion from our class?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "She does all over," because Val was doing primarily custom. She's like, "You might want to take some of your quilts to Marion." So I called Marion. I had known her years earlier. So that's how it kind of all happened.
But it started by you guys in person taking a quilt class. Is how you made the connection.
It was actually it was called the Pink Ladies Stitchery class. And it was a class where, in fact, that up there above the window.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we made in that class.
I can't imagine you ever not knowing them. It's so crazy. It's so crazy to me.
So, yeah. And we all shopped at that quilt store. And
Marion's like my second
owner.
mom.
So, yeah. So
we'll be on the phone for like ever.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
And I know they're full now. They're not taking any new clients. And every once in a while that pops up on, especially after they came on the podcast. A lot of people are like, "Oh, how can I get their information?" And it's like they're all filled up. But I mean, I don't know that where I was going with that, but to get new people, I mean, you got to basically put yourself out there. That's what I was getting at.
Word of mouth and put yourself out there.
I mean, another story to look at, because when we had Jenny Doan on the podcast, I mean, that was the beginnings of her company, was just long arming.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's all she wanted. And her son brought up, let's do YouTube videos so that people will see us and then send us their quilts so that we can long arm them.
Right.
And it became obviously a lot more than that.
But
that was I remember her telling us that was all the initial plan was I wanted to start a new, side business and just long arm quilts.
Right.
But she was early enough in YouTube where it really took off something else. But so just getting yourself out there, whether YouTube, social media, going out to guilds, meeting people, basically.
Right.
I mean, you got to promote yourself.
Yes.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah. And I find too, when I teach it in guild situations, that it seems like there's always a couple long armors that are members of the guild who are quilting a lot of the members' quilts.
Oh, yeah.
Have you noticed that too when
yeah.
we've been to California and such? Yeah, you notice that a lot. So,
yeah.
Okay.
I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I mean, I hope I'm confident that everything I've seen her do that
She's
is
so
graspy
talented.
She's so creative. I think she's just going to love it.
She's so creative.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And she's better even like mechanically at things than I am. I'm just like, I'm bring the car to get the oil change. And she's like, no, my brother taught me how to do it. I can do it. I'm like, no, I'm going to go pay for it to be done.
Which is so weird because Dad is so mechanical. I'm not mechanical. You must have got my non-mechanical brain.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with quilt machines or whatever, but I don't,
it's going to be super fun to see you guys experience it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, so if anyone else was thinking that, like, how do you break in? So hopefully that was some good advice as well for people to do that. So
absolutely. Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up for today's episode. We will be back in 2 weeks with an episode on Monday, October 28th. As Billy mentioned, we will actually be in Houston that day.
We will.
But in November, we will come back with all three of our reports, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah. I think everyone will enjoy hearing Billy's perspective as well.
Yes.
That'll be really cool to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I loved the topics today, and we can't wait to get back here with you all again. Thanks so much for stopping by.